Mm, okay. Do we understand how the physical space, the what you call then the other one is the
Chitakasha.
Akasha, that subtle space, right? That of the feeling and emotion, and then how Chidakasha, how they come into the picture, how we experience. Let's reflect a little bit. Let's listen from some of us, and then we come to this content because if we understand little basis, then it is very easy to understand what the story of Leela is and what is the underlying messaging for that, right? Is it okay if we reflect a little bit and listen to everyone?
Sure.
Okay, good. So, who wants to share? What is your experience in the physical space, where the physical space exists? Yeah, that Bhutakasha and then the Chittakasha and how it relates to your the space of your consciousness or the consciousness. So let's see that. Did anybody did any reflection? Mm,
Yeah. Okay. One thing that struck me is I think we went through a recording of yours a little while ago, or maybe you were in the background. I don't know which one. I did feel that uh, being aware of Bhutakasha and also Chittakasha, right? The elemental space and the mental space, both are strongly tied to some kind of memory. To say that I am aware or I was aware
mm,
of any of these three spaces means it somehow resides in the memory.
mm,
And I was trying to contemplate a little more on that.
mm. Very good. Yes, of course, like memory. I think the whole cosmos is in something, someone's memory, right? That absolute being's memory, right? Once we read this chapter, it will be more clear. So good observation. Thank you, Naveen.
Mm.
Who else wants to share? Anybody else? I mean, we live in this physical reality, right? We all experience the life. So, how do you correlate with this thing? Like, I've just brought it, I'm sharing the screen to help everyone. It is examination with the books. So, you can copy and paste and reflect if you didn't get a chance earlier. Yeah,
Maybe I can chime in.
absolutely. Go ahead.
So the analogy that was coming to my mind, maybe it is, maybe you tell me if it associates or not. So Gurudev also talks about the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. Is it so that the Bhutakasha relates to the gross body, like the physical space, the elemental space, like our perception of senses, the ego, like over there? And then the Chitakasha relates to the subtle body. It's this realm of thoughts, the mind, memory, like it's over there, the subtle body, the dream state, and everything. And the Chidakasha relates to the pure, unblemished consciousness, the causal body. Are these terms related, or am I kind of making it up?
I think it is interesting correlation. I think it's a very intelligent observation also. Hmm. Um, I think somewhere they are related because physical body is in the physical realm, right? And then we don't know where are our feelings and emotions. We cannot pinpoint, right? That this part of the head or this part of the body, this thing, like we have the emotion. I say very interesting correlation. I haven't reflected much from this perspective, but definitely it seems there is a good correlation. It might not be direct one on one, but definitely there is a correlation.
Okay.
Anyone else wants to give expert comment on this, Lakshmi? And
Yeah, I mean, for me, these definitions are, they're great, they're very helpful. But I think when I reflect on my experience of maybe a silence course with 150 other people, I start off so strongly in the Bhuktakasha. People are sneezing and making noises, and then I have this experience of the mind subsiding, getting into the Chittakasha, and then there's a dissolving happening, and then there's just something that's unnameable, one space. And
Yeah.
so being able to experience that in a matter of minutes, all those realms is very special. And yes, I think that's what I'm reflecting on.
Oh, this very, very apt, very, very powerful. Thank you, Lakshmi, for sharing this. So let's reflect on this thing like that. Where the physical space is very dominant. When we are awake, the reality of physical space is very much in our experience, right? Once we sleep, we are like really not sure whether the physical space even exists. In fact, it just disappears. In deep sleep, there is no physical space, right? And where are your subtle feelings and emotion, which is your chitakasha, in waking and dreaming? In waking also, it is there. If you see that, like there is always a set of memories, as Naveen was saying, there is a set of memories always. Like chitta is memory, right? If you see that subtle emotions, feelings, sensations, and memory, they have existence in the waking state, but they are usually in the background, right? We are not always aware of our feelings and emotions, even though we are driven by that, we act upon that. But the physical space takes a more dominant place in our experience. But in sleeping, what happens? In sleeping, there is no physical space and there is no that subtle space, like chitta kasha. They both dissolve and nobody can tell whether they exist or not exist, right? It is just when you wake up, you see, you put a VR set and nobody can tell that whether it was real or unreal, right? Whether it is a VR or not VR. And somebody tells there is no direct experience. You can just record yourself, but that is also a story, isn't it? So it's a very interesting thing. And in deep sleep, both of these spaces are dissolved. But there is one more very interesting phenomena happens when you are in transcendence, you are in deep meditation, right? You don't have the experience of space, but there is a subtle experience of space, isn't it? Like when you are in deep meditation, somewhere like there is a slight, even space and time, they both dissolve in that this thing. But if you come out, you can see that the transition when you start coming from very deep meditative state to slightly aware space and time start popping up. You say, oh, how many minutes I have meditated? Is it 20 minutes or more? And then you say, your nose is all and empty and so space and time again they dissolve, right? But in some of those meditations, you are not aware about physical space. You are just worried about irritation, sensation, and memories, and right. Yeah, some meditations are like that, right? So that is a very interesting thing. Is that you see that the dominance of physical space that goes down. Okay. Now I'll tell you. Let's do one experiment, right? Like Gurdev always says that where is the body? We think mind is inside the body, but he says it is reverse. That body is inside the mind, right? I think we did it last week also. I just want to do repeat it. If I did it with you guys or maybe with some other group, with some other session, I my apologies. But you see that, right? You see this whole space, right? The in your room, your monitor and all those things. It is sometimes it is deja vu for me. Maybe like just bear with me if we already did it, right? But you see that, right? That this whole room is outside your body, isn't it? And where is the beginning of the body and ending of the body? There is a very finite beginning and ending, right? These are the boundaries of my physical body, right? Now close your eyes and just become aware of the your body, okay, and the room and the attention outside of the room, attention on entire building, attention on the entire area, your vicinity and locality, and you can keep expanding. You can go up to the cloud, you can go up to the stars, you can keep expanding. Now, where is the limit of this experience? Okay. Can you expand it a little bit more wherever your imagination is stopping or whatever you feel the imagination, right? Now, this creation is where? Inside you or outside you, right? Only the physical body has a finite boundary. But the moment you close your eyes and you let your awareness expand, where all these things is it within your awareness or outside your awareness? And where is the end of your awareness? Wherever you are thinking, oh, I am aware up to this, can you expand it a little bit more? 1,000 meter, a 2,000 meter? Can you go to the next star? Can you even go beyond star? Can you go to the next galaxies in your awareness, mental awareness, right? You keep expanding, keep expanding, keep expanding. And now you have already forgotten the limitation of your body, where body starts and body finishes, right? You're not even aware of that. Now, as I said, attention will come back to the body. All of a sudden, the awareness, which was like almost light years expanded, now it is back into 6 feet, 5.5 inches, 5 feet, half inches awareness, right? And now all of a sudden you just become aware of those galaxies you were traveling, the astral travel you were doing. Okay. In an instant, you have taken that form. Now, where are you experiencing all these things? How come you are experiencing all these things? What is illuminating this experience inside you, right? That is something worth exploring. So let's open our eyes gently. Do you see what happened? Where is the body? Body is inside you or you are inside the body? Only in the waking state with eyes open, we find this disconnect that, oh, I am limited in this body. But if you close your eyes, is body inside your awareness or your awareness is inside your body? Tell me. Any expert comment, reflect?
Body is inside the awareness.
It's very direct experience, isn't it? It just very clearly feels that body is inside my awareness. And where is the end of your awareness?
Limitless.
It just keep expanding, right?
Mhm.
So now, do you see with your practical experiences what this theoretical aspect, right? Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman, right? Which is limitless. Okay. Limitless. Everything is inside that Brahman. Is it possible to have that reflection inside you in your own experience with a little tilt of awareness? Can you see it happening inside you? But as the state transition, the reality transition, and you say, oh, but I am limited, right? But I have this body, isn't it? All of a sudden, it will become this body. So now these three spaces, let's come back. Physical space, right? All these objects only with five senses are limited, and then five experience of five senses give the experience of, rather, let me take a step back. The stimuli from five senses give this idea or experience of physical space. If you close your eyes, just you shut one sense, all of a sudden the physical space, that dimension gets very different, isn't it? The sense of distance. If you close your eyes, if you are just relying on your ears to gauge how far is something, all of a sudden that idea of distance will change or not. If you have to do it by touch, that sense of distance will change or not. And I will not recommend tasting to find the distance by licking all your table and all. I will not say. I'm just joking right here, right? So you see this, that the whole sense of physical space is derived from our five physical senses, but they are illuminated in the your inner space of mind, right? That makes the sense. Like how far is this distance? What color? What something? It is the mind which interprets. Like the what we see red, it is if someone color blind, they might see something very different. There is no, I think, what are those colors people cannot differentiate? I believe it is blue and red or some of those things. My apologies for not knowing. So where this reflection is coming, is there absolute red color, absolute blue color? It's just the reflection in your subtle space, right? That Chitakasha, right? And then finally, what is illuminating it, where all these things appearing is Chidakasha. When your consciousness is like deeply either in the sleeping state or in the transcendental state, nothing exists. You become one or you become nothing. Does it make sense? So all these three aspects, right? Because they make the basic building block. Bhutakasha, Chittakasha, and Chidakasha, right? These concepts. You can transition in a second, right? Oh, this is physical space. Oh, this is a feeling and emotion. But these are illuminated by my consciousness. Is it anything difficult in this so far?
Yeah, I think I'm a little unclear on the difference between Chittakasha and Chidakasha.
Chittakasha is your, like, I would say, sensations. Where do you feel sensations? Outside your body? No. In the physical space, you don't feel sensation. There might be stimuli which can create sensation, but sensation is a very inner phenomena. Somewhere inside us we feel, right? You feel happy, right? Feelings. So first is sensation. I think Deepak Chopra says very beautifully. He says SIFT, SIFT. He says sensation. Okay. Then I is images. Your eyes are closed, but still you can see some images, isn't it? Right? And then F is for feelings. Where are the feelings? You feel loved, you feel angry, you feel hatred. There is no physical kind of tangible existence of those. It is just within your inner space you feel, isn't it? And then T is thoughts. SIFT. Beautifully he put this acronym. What is your subtle space is sensations, images, feeling, and thoughts. Five things, isn't it? Right. There is some scientific term in psychology they call qualia. So it is qualifying certain things, right? So I haven't heard much, so don't, I cannot comment. But you know, right? SIFT, these things, right? They define your inner space, which is the Chitta right? But where all these things are registered, like your Chitta Kasha is always there. Like you have all this feeling, emotion, sensation. But if you are doing something, they don't exist. Like you are angry at someone, right? But if you start doing your work, that anger goes somewhere else. Like it doesn't register. So there is a kind of light of awareness. Only where that aspect which is illuminated by that light, that becomes our experiential reality at that point. So if you're not paying attention to, let's say you have a beautiful lamp behind you, right? I just noticed it was there. But until I place some attention and awareness, it didn't exist. It was there, it didn't register, right? So what is that? Right? Which illuminates these two experience of subtle world and the physical world is Chidakasha. That is the pure awareness. And or you can say is it is experiencing. The phenomena of experiencing is one of the major aspect of consciousness. How we experience, isn't it? Where the experiencing happening. The process of experiencing physical world, the process of experiencing our inner world, where it is happening. What is that aspect? You see, that is the Chidakasha because that is the light, that is the focus. When that beam comes on something, then only it gets illuminated, otherwise it doesn't exist. Right now you don't know whether England exists or not. Now I said England, now it is in your awareness. Now you can question whether England exists or not, right? There are billions of things. So now quantum physics also, right? Based on the attention of the subject, the reality solidifies. Like Schrodinger's, this one, that is the cat is dead and cat is alive. Depending upon the observer, cat may be outside the box or inside the box. You know, right? That electron can be at multiple places, photon can be at multiple places. But when the awareness of the observer is focused, that gives the reality, the solid reality. The reality takes a finite form. Naveen is processing it very, very, very intensely. And
That's that's such a beautiful explanation. So, is it fair to say that in a Venn diagram representation, the Chittakasha is a proper subset of Chidakasha?
see, I would say Chittakasha and physical space, they don't exist. This is what the chapter of creation explains. When you hear the story of Leela, what is physical space and what is the Chittakasha? They are function of space and time. See that? Physical space, even the physics says now today that it is a space-time fabric, right? Einstein proved that space-time fabric. There are no separate two realities, right? So they are the space-time reality. So, but it is space-time is not an absolute construct. When you are waiting for something, time seems so very long, isn't it? When you are busy, time is so short, right? So time doesn't have a absolute existence. It is very relative. In your dream, you can live 50 years in 5 minutes of sleep, isn't it? You can take a birth and you can die in a dream, right? In 5 minutes, right? Whole life can be lived in 15 minutes. So time has no real significance. So a dream is my favorite example, right? In your dream, did we do the meditation, Rajiv? Did we play that meditation?
We did it about the space.
Okay, space. Okay, we didn't like do this thing. Like my apologies. I just reached 6:25 from Sacramento, so I just joined this thing. So okay. So now the comes the space also, right? We talked, right? When do you experience space? When you are awake. Otherwise, space doesn't exist. And in your dream, you can create any number of world, isn't it? In your dream, the city, which you experience the city in your dream. When you dream, you always have some space, right? There are people, there are places, there are faces, there are buildings where that space exists. Have you ever thought, like, once you wake up, what happens to all those cities and people, right? So, space and time are experiences reflected in awareness, consciousness. Right? They are not absolute construct. But what happens if you consider waking state as a specific dream, then only you will understand. If you consider waking state as a absolute, pure existing existence, then it will be very difficult. But if you just for next few minutes, if you just explain that, okay, I'm seeing this as a dream. I'm seeing a dream where this a session is happening. I'm seeing a dream where another 18 people are on a Zoom kind of session, and we are talking about some mystical text, right? All these people, I don't know, I haven't seen Ruchi taking birth. We don't know Ruchi's birth certificate, right? There is someone like Prabhat, we don't know from where he is. So all of a sudden it is like dream, right? In dream people just pop up, right? And it seems you always knew, right? When in your dream you meet someone in your dream, you never question that are you real. You just assume, yeah, it is a real thing. Same thing this time is happening. Is there a guarantee that I was born on so and so date? There is. None of you know. Even I don't know that whether I was born. My parent told that I was born on this and this date, so I trust that I was born on this and this date, right? So just if you take a waking state for few minutes, just assume this waking state is dream. Okay. And now you correlate the properties of a dream in the waking state. Don't you see similarity? This, like,
Yeah.
Right now you don't know where there is a New York, right? Or Golden Gate Bridge. When I tell something, then only it will come. Otherwise, in dream also, right? Dream also is like VR reality. You move this side, a new image come. You move this side, new image comes, right? Same thing happens in the waking state only. You start driving in 880. There is no proof that 880 is the same 880 you drove yesterday. It's just the memory which gives you the impression that it is the same 880, isn't it? How different it is from dream and the waking state, Naveen?
Um, yeah, there were some things that put me into confusion, but here
Yes,
was my
good, good. Yeah.
my thought process. It is one thing to understand time dilation and other things, but to say space itself doesn't exist is a little bit uncertain to me. The reason is this. I was taking an example. In Bhutakasha, we have we see our solar system and planets. From Earth to travel to Mars, it takes 9 months on a space probe. All that time and space to say it does not exist in Chittakasha means space and time both are relative to these planes of reality now. So whatever the 9 months of space, that was time that is spent with traveling between two heavenly bodies here in Bhutakasha, is actually need not exist in Chitakasha.
Yeah. So, what you are telling the Leela's story only, right? That,
I
uh,
I don't know. I haven't read that, but
yeah. If you read Leela's story, that is what is the Leela's story, right? So, what is happening right now with you? You have a very strong experience of time and space in
yeah,
waking state, right?
yeah.
You say that how can I defy that, right? Every
Mm,
year, 365 days it takes, right? And every year there is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
yeah.
Every day, right? And we count, right? And that gives
Mm,
this solid reality that is space exists, time exists, right? Yeah, I my experience may be different. It is moving fast or slow. That is yes, understandable. But every year, every morning there is a change. Now tell me one thing, Naveen. 700 days before today, what were you doing?
I don't remember.
Is there a guarantee that it was there?
No. 700 days before I was there because my memory persists and says that I was alive.
Exactly. The only thing is, I was there. The feeling of I am is constant. That is undeniable fact. Now,
Mm,
oh, thank you, Naveen. Such an amazing thing. The only undeniable fact for all our experience is I am. I was there 700 years back, 500 years, whatever, at least in this
mm,
body, 35, 40 years. Like that feeling of I am is undeniable
mm.
experience, right? That
True.
is the
Yeah.
fact. That is I am. That is the consciousness. I am. I experience. I am. Everything else is very questionable. Everything else can be a story. Like you go to a circus, like a your magic show, right? Whatever they show, is it real? You saw something and then you can debate. No, no, I saw it with
Mm,
my eyes. The magician cut the lady into half, right?
mm,
Saw that, right? Then you go and understand the mechanism. Oh no, they have a trick and right. But when you saw it. And if you lean on your memory, I think memory can take you for a ride, isn't it? But everything exists in your memory only. And your
mm.
memory has such a limitation. Forget about 700 days. 7 days back, what were you doing?
We were in the same session.
No, we were not in the same session.
Oh, maybe 6 days back.
Yes. See that?
Oh,
Right? So, like, what I'm saying is that is why it is very important to shift the attention because this is where is we have believed it totally.
mm,
We have believed it totally. It is just like VR. The first few sessions I was bringing VR, right? People believe it so much. Oh, they are falling from the roller coaster. They are
mm.
walking on a very high, that no, the building on
Yeah.
ledge and all, right? So they believed so much, it gives that experience, isn't it? So if you put a VR and if you forget VR, you watch a horror movie, you will see adrenaline rush and heartbeat and all that thing, isn't it?
Yep.
The the belief in the head gives that essence to the reality, or puts life into the whatever reality you want to experience. Now this particular chapter is very important. Why it is very important? It starts shaking some of very strongly conditioned ideas, that I am this body, right? This physical space exists and all those things, right? And that is what gives us this idea that I am bound in this body, I am bound in this thing. So that is where it starts shaking, that okay, you thought space is reality, but let's see, is this really a reality? You saw
Yep.
time is reality. Let's see if it is really a reality. Like at least for your own feeling and emotion, right? Like you felt very angry some point. Like I'm just assuming I feel angry all the time. So
We all
that
do.
is my reality. So I cannot generalize, right? But if you see 1 hour later, that anger has zero meaning. Like you know that it was like nonsense. But at the peak of those emotions, it felt so real, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you trust is basically a story which we are telling ourselves. This body is
Mm,
changing all the time or not.
it is.
But it just seems that Naveen is like this. I assure you, 20 years back, Naveen was not like this. Naveen was very different, right? But do
Yeah.
you ever question, am I Naveen? Morning you wake up, what happened? Naveen, 20 years back, you were very different. Oh, Naveen, are you the same Naveen? Any of us question this thing? it's a
No.
it's a story which we keep telling, and we start believing into that story, right? And that is where this creation chapter is very very powerful. Okay, now you say that it says that I shall now declare you the let me just come to this chapter, right? So to make some practical progress, otherwise next week we will have 7 people in the session, right? So let's see here, right? So it says that, so we talked about Chitta Kasha, Bhuta Kasha, and Chidakasha, right? I have given ample material for you to start experiencing that, isn't it? Oh, this is not my physical space. This is my inner space of thought, shift. And this is where, what is that light which is in which all this thing is shining, right? That simple thought experiment and practical experiment, all of you can do. Yes? Now let's see what he say. Now I shall declare to you the creation and its secret. For it is only long as one is invest the perceived object with the reality that bondage lasts. One that notion goes with it goes bondage. You see that? Perceived reality. Naveen,
Hmm.
underlying fact is investment into the perceived
But
reality. That 6 month of your sun and moon travel, it's the investment in the perceived reality. I'll give you another example, right? How many times you thought that guy is your best friend, and then it turns out that is not the right thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah. As long as that perceived reality was there, did you ever had a doubt about that?
no, we didn't.
The investment into any perceived reality gives it that experience, and it talks about bondage, we'll talk about that, right? Once that notion goes, with that burden goes bondage. Here in this creation, only that which is created grows, decays, and then goes either to heaven or hell, and it gets liberated. So here it is like telling that how this story goes in the creation. Like if it is created, it will grow, it will become mature, it will decay, and it will finally die. And then the idea of heaven and hell comes into the picture. Yes, Naveen.
Can we expand a little bit on that? What did Yoga Vasishta Guru think that there is something called heaven or hell, and there is a necessity for something gets liberated. It says it gets liberated. What is it means here?
I will do a like little jump here, right?
Oh,
And you have to trust me on this one, right?
okay.
You will read it in coming days, right? Coming later, right? You will see that whatever mind perceives, that becomes its reality. So people who believe in heaven and hell, once they leave the body, they experience heaven and hell, because this is from one story to other story.
I
Okay.
see. Okay.
And then this story says, I am bound right now, right?
Mm,
So right now we all feel that we are bound, right? So, and then only when we know we are bound, then only you can get liberated. Someone who is not bound can never be liberated. So, other flavor of the story is bondage. Okay. So, these are
yes.
the story the individual jiva consciousness tells itself, and that is how the next episode of the story unfolds, right? And if you see, like, there are people who don't believe in heaven and hell, they don't believe in reincarnation and all that thing, right? So what is the next episode for them? Like this episode,
Mm,
anyway, we have a script, right? When I say this episode means this life, right?
yeah.
So what will be the next episode, right? It is totally dependent on the belief we lived with. Yeah. And that
Okay.
is explained in coming this thing. Like, since we haven't covered, you have to trust me that it
Okay.
will explain that, right? During the cosmic dissolution, the entire objective creation is resolved into infinite being, which is variously designated as Atma, Brahman, Truth, etc., by the wise to facilitate communication, dialogue. Now, it is very interesting thing. Is like, I think here the unity and multiplicity collides. I think you have to have a little patience, right? Here, one part, it says that there is only one. Means
Mm,
the only existing reality is Naveen. Prabhat is a figment of imagination in Naveen's mind. From Prabhat's perspective, the only reality is Prabhat. Naveen and Raji and Meghna and Shweta, Ruchi, all these beautiful people, they exist as a figment of imagination. Right?
mm,
But it one place it says that in cosmic dissolution, everything goes back. So this means there were multiple also, right? Then only they go back to the unity, right? Did you get this thing, right?
mm, yeah.
So you have to stay with this contradiction for few more pages. But I'm like putting this thing that there is a very clear contradiction. One point it says that you are the only one. You are imagining, you are dreaming, and that is giving the experience of this life, that life. But there will be a cosmic dissolution. Even gods will die. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, everything will go back to that unity, and then the next cycle will start. So that means these were like multiplicity was there, right? So what is right? Am I the only one? Aham Brahmasmi, or there is a multiplicity? Stay tuned for that, okay? But hold on to this thing, right? Do you see that, right? So truth is contradictory. Like, hold on to that. I think Shweta wanted to say something before she forget. Yeah, Shweta.
So, two thoughts. One, just so one with regards to the previous thing, I think. So, when you were talking about everything is about perception, right? So, what was coming to my mind, right? Gurudev always says, so be a witness. Like, if we be a witness, then things will not. Like we'll not cling to those things or emotions. That way, I think the bondage, if we practice with being a witness, then we can be free from bondages, cravings, and aversions, right?
So, yes.
So, in the sense, what I mean, why I got this thought was basically. Where we're talking about conscious space. So once if we are in the witness consciousness, then we can be in that conscious space all the time, right? Because you were talking about that all the physical reality and the inner reality exists as per our perception. For example, if I am fond of cards, I will look at cards all the time. But if I am not fond of cards, I will not pay attention to their what is the make and all that stuff, right? So my reality is my perception. So if I'm in the witness of if I'm in the witness consciousness all the time, in that way, I will not be judging or passing judgments at each and everything, and taking that will not stick to me. So that way I can be free from bondages, cravings, and aversions, and that I can have that I don't know if I'm making sense. So
You are making absolute sense. The only thing which I realized in last 4 5 weeks, Shweta, is if I may share, uh, your realization you share as if it is a question, but it is a great realization. Like when you say two things, I say, okay, two questions, but they are not two questions. They are deep inner realization for you. I think brilliant. What you are saying is the right thing. Is that once there is no attachment, that is what we just read. Is that investment? I think we are still sharing, right? Here is that right?
Yeah, I raised my hand when I had raised my
Yes.
hand then. So yeah,
Yes. So you are absolutely right. Like wherever we are invested, I think we encourage a part of the drama in our life, right?
yeah.
Yeah, certain attributes of our own story we highlight more, and that becomes predominant in our perception. But what is being witnessing is that okay, not adding more importance to any of the things. It is coming, it is going, and all of a sudden that grip loses, the feverishness loses its grip. So absolutely right. I think
Sorry, the reason it was like it, because things happen in my life also, and then some things which are not pleasant for me, then there's a clinging to it, there's a aversion to it. So when this I was just thinking, right, if I just be a witness and let things happen, let things situations happen and flow, it will not have such a big impact the way it has right now, any unpleasant situation or whatever, right?
so can you accept one very revolutionary and very kind of what is the right word? Very unconventional thought I'm going to share with you.
Okay.
Okay. I tell you, actually, nothing happens. What you feel that it is important, it is shaking you, this event is shaking you, nothing happens. Yesterday, whatever was important today has zero value. 5 years back, you thought end of the life about something, end of this thing. Today, you don't even remember that, right? So, what is happening is there is a continuous dreaming kind of experience going on, right? In that dream, we put emphasis on certain things. And then we feel, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. A week later, you don't even remember. You means all of us. We don't even remember that it was important, right? But we are in continuous self-hypnotic state. So we are continuously telling us a story. In that story, we add a little bit of more importance or spice or a kind of what you call in Hindi we call masala, more like this thing to that particular thing, and then we feel good, bad, ugly about that. And then, oh my God, I need to witness. Actually, you are always witnessing. You are doing nothing. I am doing nothing. All of us are only witnessing. The only thing is we are witnessing a soap opera. And the purpose of all this thing is to know that, oh, you are always witness. Aho Niranjano, there is nothing which touched any of us, right? The only thing is just know, are yaar, I thought this is my life. Billy Joel, it's my life. It's now or never. But the reality is, it is self hypnotism. We are telling a story to us continuously, and in that story, some part we add so much of importance, drama, sadness, romance, violence, thriller, action, and we start experiencing that. But we all are untouched. 20 years back, the event which shaken you,
Doesn't it make
huh? 20 years back, the event shaken you had zero value at this moment. It is might not be even in memories right now. So what you did is, or all of us did, we only experience a story and we witness that story. So the only thing our real self does only witnessing. It is just telling witness it from a different perspective. You can't do anything but to witness. I cannot do anything but to witness. But what we are doing is we are adding color to that witnessing, and adding that color create emotions and experience and a flavor of experience. The reality is we are doing nothing. We are just experiencing and witnessing only. It may be a radical, no, term is radical. It is a radical thought. You have to hold on to that thought and see. what real thing change inside me? What is anyway changing, whether you agree or disagree? People are anyway changing, world is anyway of changing. So what we are doing is continuously we are going through a stream of experiences. We are just going through a stream of experiences and we just think that they are impacting us. Nothing is impacting you. It is nothing is impacting me. Aho Niranjano, I'm untouched, unblemished. It is just that experience is giving that ups and downs and nothing. But if you see, did anything change inside you? Nothing. It is the same I am. It is the same I am which was 50 years back, which was yesterday, which is today. And I challenge you. Tomorrow, you see, it will be the same I am. Nothing changed. We are only witnessing a stream of experiences. There is nothing else you can do. There is nothing else in this whole thing except for witnessing different experiences. Now, when we say witnessing in terms of Vedanta, I'm not contradicting Shweta's this thing. Shweta is saying very apt thing. But when you say witnessing, you just realize, oh, this is coming, it is going, it is coming, it is going, it will change, it came, for movement, it will be there, it will dissolve. It arises, it stays, it will dissolve. What is such a big deal about this? So that doesn't mean that your experiencing will stop. It is just that you will know it is a movie. So far you saw it is reality. Now you are just chillaxing on recliner. Let it be, arey yaar. It is coming, it is going, coming and going. So now you are not impacted with this. So the only thing we or anyone is ever doing is witnessing.
So, Bhaji, I would say right now, I think, for example, I think right now I get sucked into emotions, but if we start witnessing, we'll not be sucked into emotions, right? We'll
But
not
if you're not witnessing emotion, how will you know that you are impacted with the emotion? Witness means experiencing only, right? The only thing is not giving importance to your witnessing. Right now, you're giving so much importance to whatever you are witnessing. Okay. And that is becoming the reality. You just say, the only job I have is witnessing only, right? And I tell you, all the experiences we have zero control. Okay. What will happen inside us? We have zero control. Whether I will be shouting on someone, I have no idea. What thought will come in my head? No idea. How my spouse will react to something? No idea. How my kids will react to something? No idea. How a stock market will react to something? No idea, no control. So what we are actually doing is witnessing, 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 witnessing. But we are so engrossed in this witnessing that we think it is reality. You just take a step back and start saying, the only thing I'm doing is, oh my Lord, witnessing. How much more witnessing you want me from me? And the unfortunate thing or fortunate thing is, you cannot stop witnessing. You sleep, it is witnessing the sleep. You are awake, it is witnessing the waking state. You are dreaming, it is witnessing the dreaming state. So the only thing we are ever doing is what?
Witnessing.
Exactly. So, but it is a tilting the perception. Now, so far when we listen witnessing, we think a special type of witnessing. What is a special type of witnessing? Nothing. Like it is a continuous stream of stimuli going through in our awareness, consciousness, right? And we have no choice, no control. We are helplessly going through a movie. Like you are locked in a movie hall, right? And whatever movie they are playing, you have to watch, right? But you think if I witness from this angle, the villain will become hero. If I witness from that angle, villain will become hero and tragedy will become comedy. No. When you know I'm locked in this movie hall, the only thing I can do is witnessing, 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 witnessing. There is no special witnessing. When you understand, the only thing we are ever doing is witnessing, and there is no end to that. Waking is witnessing the waking state. Dreaming is witnessing the dreaming state. Sleeping is witnessing the no experience. So basically, if you tilt this into experience, the witnessing is witnessing a certain experience. Now, witnessing, then you are detaching that thing. Now, witnessing is out of our hand. It is the only thing you can ever do is witnessing. When you close your eyes, You are again witnessing only. Like now you are in, I am experiencing my breath. You are just witnessing the breath is coming and going. And then you go into La La Land. Then you are witnessing the void of experience, right? The absence of experience. But you are still witnessing. You say, I am. So the only real experience is I am. In that I am, everything is coming, going. It is like movie curtain, right? So first of all, I challenge. It's a little radical. I should not be saying because I don't know whether I have the stature of making this kind of claim, but I'm still I'll with. I mean, I'm with this permission from hopefully from Gurudev. I can say that I challenge you. You stop witnessing. There is no way you can stop witnessing. The only thing is that tilting this thing that I'm continuously experiencing everything. Each experience is giving me high and low, and it is a momentary phenomenon. It is not the reality, right? Hmm. And then you just do and stay there. You know the kids, like have you seen the little kids? They will look at the parents and parents are doing something and they will they and then they will be stand still. They will be observing, there is no reaction, and then they are neither laughing, they are not crying. So one day you try to do that. Hmm, I'm going through the continuous stream of experiences. Some are pleasant, some are unpleasant. Some I think I planned, but most of them are unplanned. And each of these experience is kind of like tickling me inside. But that is momentary. And then you see from that angle, you go back to the only real experience is I am. Everything else is a kind of a adulterated version of this experience I am. There is a qualification. I am happy, I am sad, I am upset, I am excited. And then we add more attribute to that. But the reality is this continuous experience of I am never leaves us. We may forget that it is I am, that I am become colored. You see that? The witnessing never goes away. But what scriptures and master tell witnessing is that you see that you can never go away from this experience of I am. Just know that the real continuous experience, unchanging thing is I am. These pictures are changing, but the substrate in which all these pictures are coming and going, that is the real experience. And that we call technical terms as
Mm.
witnessing, meditation. Does it make sense or it is too radical?
No, no, I can't.
No,
Can I add
makes sense.
quickly, Prabhaji, beautifully how you are explaining? It came to me like, when we are sleeping on the bed and dreaming, all we are doing is witnessing, isn't it? And then
Exactly.
there is a character in the dream that is huffing and puffing. But
Yes.
but the one on the bed can only witness, isn't it? The dream, the entire dream. And that's what you're saying. You're saying is witnessing is always happening, like the one who is lying on the bed and witnessing the dream. And the character that I am in the dream may be doing things, whatever, unaware that I am. But once we are aware that I am is the only reality, the reality is always there. I am is always there. It's just that I'm not aware of that. That's it, right?
Yeah, we become forgetful of that. Let's say that we are aware, we just become forgetful, right? So now let me reconcile two things. Is it okay? All of you got it, right? Let me reconcile this thing, right? When we get sucked into the experience and forget that it doesn't touches me, then we are in bondage, we are in the misery, right? Once we take a step back, let it be, it is like a movie, okay, then you are free. And were you bound earlier? Not really. It was a story. Were you became free? Not really. Freedom is also a story. There is no real change in our original state. Nothing is added, nothing is deleted. Do you see that? It is just the flavor of experience changes. That is why Gurudev says that enlightenment is a joke.
but the flavor of experience can change drastically, right? If I just look at it and don't get sucked in it, I will not react. I will respond versus react.
Sweta, you are giving too much of importance to your tiny life. Your tiny life means all of us have tiny life. So you
Yeah.
are giving too much importance to that dream, which right now you are saying.
Yeah.
Like in last night or any night, you are having some dream, right?
Hmm.
You might have taken some action in that. Okay. You might cook some food or taken some action. Do you value that action today after you wake up?
No.
Yeah, so if you treat this living like waking state also as a dream, will you give so much of importance how you responded and what you planned or what you did? Okay, let me take a reverse. Like, I mean, I'm just like shaking everyone. So my apologies, Sweta. It is not about you. I'm just shaking everyone a little bit, right? With your permission. See, 3 years back, you might have taken 4 or 5 decisions. Like they might look very radical. Are you proud of those decisions today? Until when someone reminds you, don't even remember that, right? So whatever you are saying that, oh, it will be different, this thing, it has a very finite expiry. The next experience will override whatever good, how you responded, how you reacted. It has zero value. Right now you're very sane, right? 5 minutes later, god forbid, like your spouse says something
Sure.
which shakes you. This experience of you being centered and talking knowledge, does it have any value? It was part of a dream, it doesn't exist at that moment, right? Then you fast forward, whatever fight you had with someone, 2 days later it has zero value. So what is happening is, it is a, I wouldn't even use term as time, because there is in reality, like last week we talked, there is no time, there is a continuous now, right? In that continuous now, there is a flavor of how you are experiencing and perceiving. It could be happiness, it could be joy, it could be peace, it could be agitation, it could be violence, right? And that continuously changing. So what is happening? The attention is so much on the scenery, the changing pictures. We forget that all this is only reflected on that background substrate, which is I am. Okay. So once you bring that attention to I'm continue, like this is so amazing. I was looking for some heavenly experience in my vacation. The problem is I'm continuously experiencing only. Is there any time you're not experiencing, right? But we seek a certain type of experience in the life, right? But once you understand, no, I am is the only experience, everything else is a reflection, distortion, whatever way you want to justify, then you will become, I wouldn't say you will become free, you will just realize that nothing touches me. So far I was hallucinating, self hallucinating. Does it make sense? I think language cannot capture this thing. You have to just see this. Oh, I am continuous. I am never changing, ever the same, unchanging. I am. Everything comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. Does it make sense? Hmm. Okay. Naveen and Hema.
Hey, must before me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to add that, even these concepts are put into our minds from the childhood itself, concept of time or these negative like bondage, misery, all these things. When we were 2, 3 years old, we didn't want to go to school, but we were asked to wake up and, go to school, take a bath or eat at a certain time, all these things which grew up to be led into reward and punishment between, when we were children, our parents or teachers, if we forgot a notebook, taking to school. I remember my teacher hit me with a scale on the knuckles. And that is still there in the memory, that concepts are put into us. And that is how, we have grown up also. And that continues in our relationship or at work also. Reward, punishment keeps going, and then we think this is miserable, this is joyful. We associate with our experiences, and then we keep getting more and more into this rabbit hole, that this is good, this is bad. Society terms may divorce is bad. We think like that. So the concepts keep getting deeper and deeper in us. Right? Thank you.
You are absolutely right, Hima. But that is also a part of a story, right? So when you start, oh, there was a story. This story was written by certain characters, right? They gave this idea. But now when you see that, what is the essence? Experiencing only. I am. In that I am, there are different flavors, right? Now you have a choice, right? What you do, right? So I wouldn't go back and start getting angry. It was my dad, it was my mom, it was my teachers. They themselves have been fed a story, and there is no guarantee that they existed. It might be a dream. You wake up and you say, wow, I was thinking, I was watching a dream, I was Hema in that dream. But it is different, right? There is no guarantee that you will not wake up from this, right? So what I would say is that just forgetting all that, the cause and effect of how we arrived at this point. But at this point, it is what it is. Okay. But can you like take a step back and see that, fine, so far this flavor of a story continued. I can change it. Does it make sense? Okay, good. Naveen?
Okay. And this was related to the previous question and discussion. This somewhere, I think I heard that all that witnessing is happening in all the three different spaces, but it is still individualized, right? My Bhutakasha experience, my Chitakasha experience is individualized. It's not the same for the other person. However, uh, when it comes to Bhutakasha, if I see a flower, you see a flower, another person see a flower, or a tree or a seed, we all believe that it is a flower or a tree or a seed.
Yeah.
So there is a combined, like a shared, you use the word hallucination, at least of the Bhutakashas,
Shared
where
experience, you can say shared
shared
experience.
experience.
Yeah. But the
Of
same thing happens in a dream also, Naveen, right? Have you seen a dream where four of you were drinking same coffee? The next
I
morning
don't
you
know.
wake up, only you are left, other three people and cup and tea and coffee, everything evaporated, right? Everybody experienced the same reality, but that reality was not there, right? So that is where this understanding is that we consider the waking state as a absolute reality. Okay. And dream, nobody believes that dream is a reality, right? Do you believe that your dream are real? You go and visit some city. When you are visiting the city in the dream, it is completely real. You never question. But once you wake up, do you ever question that it was not real?
The question is more about how did we get into this shared experiences?
So maybe somebody is dreaming, and in that dream, we all are different characters. It's a simple answer. So you think you are dreaming, it could be possible someone else, which is a, how many of us are there? 16 people. There is a 17th person who is dreaming,
Mm.
and in that person's dream, there are 16 people.
And that person is
That person is you.
the one who wrote the story.
No, that person is you. So in a dream, okay, let me
Okay.
ask you one thing. Let's talk about this, right? In a dream, okay, there are 10 people, okay? Which person was not you? Every single person was you only, right?
Uh,
You just assume the form of 10 different person, isn't it?
mm, mm,
And when you wake up, everything dissolve back into you only, right? So the what is reality is in any dream is the dreamer.
yeah.
All the character, object, place, things, time, they arise in the dreamer. And it doesn't matter how many of that multiplicity was there, right? So that is the cosmic dissolution, that the dreamer wakes up and then everything collapses. Zoop!
Mm,
Multiplicity collapses. Ah, I was dreaming. Oh man, there were 500 people in my dream and this many objects and all that thing, right? But
yeah.
how many dreamers were there? Only one. Did they share the same experience or perceived reality? Yes. Was that the real? No. Do you
No.
understand that, right? So now
Mm,
your question is, how come Naveen and Prabhat are seeing the same thing? There is, first of all, there is no guarantee we are seeing the same thing. But for the argument's sake, let's agree we are seeing the same thing. It could be possible somebody else is dreaming and there a character is Naveen and there is a character Prabhat, Ruchi, Lokesh, all these characters. Now you start questioning, who is the dreamer? It is Naveen only. When Naveen will wake up, maybe the name of Naveen will be different. And Prabhat will collapse into Naveen. Naveen will collapse into Naveen. It will be someone else. But who is dreaming? That one cosmic being. That is the Yoga Vasistha. The cosmic being start dreaming and multiplicity arises. One, two, fractal again and again and again and again, and everything thinks I'm separate. In every dream every character thinks I'm different, right? But one day it
Yeah.
collapses, and then what remains? Only one. And then only one becomes so bored it start dreaming it again. So next cycle of creation starts. Then again Naveen comes and Ruchi comes and Raji comes and all that. Then it becomes too much of burden because there is so much pain and so much problem. This thing, okay, enough. Then it wakes up. I say that, oops, I was the only alone. Then after a period, I say, oh, I am alone. I am so bored. Then again, multiplicity starts. So now question
Mm.
is, when you question that how come we all are having the same experience, you go back to dream example. In a dream, everybody has the same experience, but how many people are there? Only one dreamer. In dream, people don't fight. I'm the real one. I'm the real Naveen. You are the dreamed version of Naveen. No, everybody is equally real as Naveen. Their name and face
Uh,
and everything. Does it make sense?
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I think
everybody, sorry, can I add?
Yeah.
Everybody might be having the same dream, but the perception of everybody is different. For example, like Naveen said, I see a flower. My like his perception or his like feeling when he sees a flower would be different versus mine, right? Like or
Yeah. So now Shweta is arguing that I am the real dreamer. Okay. My perception is the real perception. Naveen's perception is the inferior
I'm
perception.
not arguing. I'm saying that we all perceive things differently. So that's how our
no, no, no.
experiential reality
But
is
the
It's
question is, perception itself is flawed, right? Perception is not
yeah,
absolute.
yeah,
Why we are
yeah.
giving so much of importance to something which we already know it is flawed, right? So, but there is very interesting concept in Vedanta. One more concept, actually, it is not in this chapter. There is a very interesting concept. You cannot experience somebody else's consciousness.
Hmm.
You see that? We have kids, we have family members, we have a spouse, right? You go and sit with your spouse and just try to see how that consciousness is experiencing. It will be very kind of a like a frightening experience, and it could be funny experience also. You have spent your 10, 20, 30 years with a person, your kid or your husband or wife. You go and sit with that person and say, I want to experience Lakshmi's consciousness. And all of a sudden you will start questioning, is Lakshmi real or not? Just go and see this thing. Nobody can experience other person's consciousness.
Yeah.
Most of the times, that is really awesome that we can't experience other
mm,
people's consciousness. Like, thank goodness for that. But isn't it so that sometimes there's that subtle body connection and you can know, like, somebody's thinking of you.
You can think, know about information, the thought.
Uh-huh.
You can even know they have some feelings, but you can never know what they are experiencing in their consciousness.
That's true.
No, you have to try it. You don't have to agree with me. You sit
What
with,
about scanners?
yeah,
What about scanners?
a scanner are reading a book.
Okay,
There is some information, right? There is information which is imprinted on your mind body complex, right? They are able to download, but nobody can experience anybody else's consciousness.
Yeah, I
You
think
just
the reason,
see.
yeah, but the reason being because we've all we have all gone through different lifetimes, right? So we have different impressions. So I'm like justifying what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I will not
So,
question
okay,
because this
Guru,
is what
Guru,
we have been thinking. But what I'm saying is that go and take the direct experience of these teaching. Sit with people you think you know really well, which are closest to your child, your husband, wife. Just sit with them and you say, that, I want to experience their consciousness. Then you realize that they are like a dummy, they are automata. All of a sudden, they I mean, it can be frightening experience. So just go with a little caution. It can be very funny also. Just go and sit. Like don't analyze, oh, can I know what they're thinking? Thinking is a thought, that is not consciousness, that is a information. How they feel, yeah, that is also a kind of a impulse of the information, right? But what that consciousness is feeling, what is that
Mm.
consciousness? Try it, and then you come next session and tell me.
So, I have a question. Is the consciousness, individual consciousness, the Chidakasha space?
No, no, I don't know what is that. I'm just like pushing you guys to experiment. There is, you are theoretically you are right, okay, that consciousness is chidakasha, right? But you just heard a concept and you are saying that is what you are jumping into conclusion, that okay, fine, homework is done, that is chidakasha. I'm saying go and find your own chidakasha first. Okay, yes, Vicky.
So this conversation with these people are being dreamed right now. And then
In,
we're going to get off and we're going to go eat dinner and that'll be dreamed by a big mind, right?
I'm saying don't believe in what I'm saying, right? I'm challenging
No, but
media.
this is what's coming to me from listening to
Yes.
you,
Yes.
right? Is that then you were saying it does there the consciousness gets bored and then it creates more play and then it gets bored, it creates, but what if every single thing that's being done is nothing but a dream of the consciousness all the time, all the time, all the time? It's not just it brings into play the universe, it's that it never stops dreaming and playing. This is all a dream and play in this little
Yeah,
group.
This is
true.
what scriptures say,
Yeah,
Vicky.
Mm.
This is what scriptures say.
but it,
And
yeah.
one more thing, right, Vicky? So it says that, like gold and bangle example, right? It says
Mm.
that the name and form are not different from the substrate. So consciousness is real. So real cannot create unreal. So whatever appearance in the real, that is also real. It is further confusion. One side we are saying nothing exists, then we say real creates real, real cannot create unreal, then there is reflection. So I'm not going to give you guys some spoon feeding ready made. My job is to create more confusion, but at the same time I'll keep shaking you that okay, whatever you were believing that is the reality, question that.
But the reality part of the dream is I am. So
Yes.
that never changes.
Okay, then we are on the same page.
That never changes, but the dream keeps changing all the time. This is a dream, but we all 17 of us, I am, I am, I am
Yes.
at the same time.
Yes. Because there
So,
is no time. In a dream, 17 people may exist in your dream, right? And
but
everybody
I'm
thinks
I'm
I
not
am.
saying it's not my dream. It's it's the big mind's dream.
No, but you are the big mind. So let's take a step back, right? See, when you are dreaming,
Yeah.
when you wake up, everything collapses into one, which is
All
you.
right. Yeah.
So right now you are dreaming, whatever dream you are seeing. When you will wake up, who will be the person who will be waking up? You only.
But I'm saying I am not dreaming and you are not dreaming. We are being dreamed.
No, no, but whatever is being dreamed is only you.
Yeah, but I think she is also like,
This
I
is
think that kind of inference can also be done, right? What she's saying
yes.
can,
No,
sorry.
no. So that is the inference will make you as a separate entity from the Brahman. That is the problem with that thought process, right? Then you think somebody else is dreaming. Let me pray to that dreamer. Oh, please dream good for me. It is anyway your dream. Only dream good sequences of event in your dream when I am associated. What I am challenging here is at the end when dream collapses,
Mm.
okay, there is only one. Okay. Whosoever is dreaming, it is just name and form which changes, right? So in Vicky's dream, there might be five different characters, right? And when Vicky wakes up, all those five characters collapse into a new identity, which is Vicky. But it was only Vicky which was dreaming. There were different character, different attribute, but what was real was only Vicky. So what will happen when this dream collapses? It may be a different name and form and shape other than Vicky and Prabhat, but it will be only Vicky and Prabhat. The essence is only Vicky and Prabhat. Go back, because now the problem is you are not willing to accept that you are Brahman, you are God.
No, then
I think
sorry.
the connection is like, what is the connection between I am the seer, like me, as in like me, Ruchi Kumar Chand, like me, and like the big mind, like how my causal body is connected to, like, what's that connection between my
You need
identity,
to just
I am?
drop this causal, subtle, and casual, formal, informal, all type of bodies, and just know that I'm dreaming myself as Ruchi. When I'll wake up, it could be different name, shape, and form, but this is this. And that is the thing which is dreaming everything. So my real
Yeah.
essence is
Brahman.
I
Uh,
am perceiving it as Ruchi right now, but when this dream is over, it could be something else, but everything collapses into
One.
that one.
Example, if like we take an example of gold, right? I
Yeah.
have let's say gold, and then there are different forms: gold bracelet, gold chain, and gold ring. But if everything melts, it becomes the same gold, right?
Ah, so good. Thank you, Shweta, for rescuing me. It's so awesome. Yeah. Naveen
But
has a
but it's
different question.
confusing when you're saying, right?
uh,
I am dreaming, I am like all that.
No, no, yeah, yeah. Everybody says falling in line. I was thinking on Vicky's question: Are we being dreamed, or are we the dreamer?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do
Both. It is
okay,
simultaneous, right?
simultaneously both, but the point
Yes.
of realization.
Yeah.
Say, the way I, Vicky, the way I thought I would probably would have answered is, I do not know when I'm dreaming when I'm dreaming.
Ah, what a
Okay,
beautiful thing, Naveen.
okay. So I need to wake up to know that I was seeing a dream. So the waking up has to happen. So, in the very same way, what is to say that this whole thing is also not a dream? Because we haven't woken up yet. Probably there is a way. And the scriptures or whatever is written here is trying to expose, expand on that, and how we can actually know it is. We probably are going to the ultimate thing and then trying to walk our way backwards here. But the way I see is, do I know I'm Brahman? Possibly I might believe and believe, but the only real experience is the wakingness has to happen. And it can happen at the end of my death, or it can happen in this very same life. So it depends on,
Mm.
that's
Or it
what,
might not even happen at the end of the death.
because there is no
Ah,
death.
wow. Height of pessimism, Shweta. Thank you for such a depressing thought. No, no, I'm just joking.
Can I put in a word here? This is Sukanya. So, so I was thinking, like, this whole thing. I mean, what I understood of this session and the Yoga Vashishta paragraphs that we read, that we are trying to decipher, is that we this is all an expression of that big energy, or the universal energy. We are all expressions, the dreamer and all that we are terming. There is essentially an expression of the divine. He's doing this. We are coming as Prabhat or Sukanya or Lakshmi or whatever, but we are basically not these individuals. We are an expression, like, like a bubble which comes up on an ocean or a wave that comes up. We are not really us. We are not an I. So when we start understanding this and shedding this individuality and understand we are part of this giant ocean, that is when I think this whole dreaming and all of this dissolves, and we kind of, and I think at the end there's this line that dissolution happens. That is essentially when we shed the I and the dreamer and the dreaming and all this concept, we basically merge with the divine, and I think that is what liberation is. I think that is what I understood of the session.
I cannot confirm or deny this.
Yeah,
the,
it's,
the, yeah. So, yeah, I think that going to one or two session back, right? It is beyond language. Remember, like one sloka we had read, it is beyond
Yeah.
expression. Yeah, it is pure experiential reality, right? So the more we try to express, they say it is gunge ka phal, like a deaf and dumb person cannot express, right? The experience. So I would say is that don't form an idea. It's very easy to form an idea that, oh, I will die, I will wake up. Now, I don't want you to go back with this idea is that, okay, this is just a dream. I will die and I'll wake up in my pajamas in some Emirates business class lounge and life will be honky dory. That's not the case. Language is very limited, it is parable. Okay. It was just a pointer to tell you, to shake the confidence in what we have been seeing and we have been believing, right? And at the same time, Vedanta promises that you are not a drop in the ocean, you are a ocean in the drop, right? So this whole idea is that how can I believe I am Brahman? That itself is a big problem, right? Okay, fine, everything is good. I am is a reality experiencer. One someday in future, when this body is died or n number of births, something will happen. All those are shackles of bondage. Okay. Vedanta is a very direct path. Okay. And direct path will only happen when we dare to not fight with our conditioning and understanding and ideas, right? We just say, okay, fine, I have been thinking like this. Now, in the light of this scripture, let me just see, let me tilt my vision. Okay. And then it may come a different form of realization, right? So I don't want any of you to go with a final answer. Okay, this is liberation. I just need to wake up in lawn with in my silky pajamas. Okay. Or it will never happen. Or we all will collapse and will be one. Tomorrow morning, don't wake up and you start that, oh, you all, you and me are one, right? It was just last night dream only. I don't want that. These are just parables. These are just the pointer because language can never explain this phenomena.
Moreover, Prabhaji, like non-duality is the what truth or whatever, right? But we still need duality to operate in this world, right?
अरे तुम इतना इस वर्ल्ड को इतना इंपॉर्टेंस दोगे वर्ल्ड तुम्हें नहीं छोड़ेगा तुम वर्ल्ड को नहीं
तो
छोड़ोगे
वर्ल्ड तो वैसे अभी नहीं छोड़ा खच्चा खा रहा है
right right. So what is needed is that is why every session thanks to you I have to remind don't come and find solution for your real life problem in yoga
I'm not finding solutions over here. No.
and don't come and remind us that world will be real and we have to do this. We already are tortured by this world, just like you, right? So no further reminders are needed, right? For these few minutes, 45 minutes, 90 minutes in a week, we should just go with wonderment, confusion, not go back to a fixed understanding. When you talk like this, I'm not questioning what you are sharing. That is the behavioral and the practical fact and truth. Okay. But I want us to be like a baby in wonderment. The baby, they touch something fiery, they never question what is fire. They just wonder, it's hot. You give something spicy to baby, they put in the mouth and they say, it's a wonderment, right? So for little bit of the time in these sessions, we need to go into wonderment. Oh, wow. And then let the nature work on us. Okay. That is why I keep shaking when somebody comes like, this is a finite answer. If that was the finite answer, I tell you, I would have been enlightened right now. Okay. So I keep shaking myself also that this is another concept, right? But it might be a better version of the concept, right? It might be a better version of understanding. So I just want us to be in a space of, I don't know. Like Gurudev says, right? I don't know. In a space of wonderment for some time. Okay.
Prabhatji, honestly speaking, sorry, I'm, saying this, but I'm just forming a little bit of a a mindset that after reading all these things, it gets more and more like strong in me. This feeling that we are living in a virtual reality, and this is all a simulation. Because when you look at it from that point, from a techie point of view, or the way the virtual reality world works, the gaming industry works, all these questions that we have in our mind, the wonderment and everything, they all add up. The dots add up. So, just putting it out there. Yeah, I'm very curious, and I'll continue to keep digging deeper. But as of now, this feeling is very strong in me, and I thought I'll share.
I will give you a legal answer. I can neither confirm nor deny. So,
Yeah, sure.
but good. As long as you go back in wonderment, okay, with this idea, I
Yeah.
don't know, it is good. Yes, Naveen.
I was about to say to Sukanya, call 1-800 Vasishta.
Yeah, of course.
But one thing I tell you, right? Last thing. See that the grace of the master is the key. Because it's very difficult to come out of this loop. It is like fractal. Have you seen the fractal programs? It is five, and then that each end is n number of. Then you go to the n number. Where you can solve the fractal? You tell me. It's impossible, right? But the reality is fractal. Maybe it doesn't exist, right? And that is where the grace helps. Like grace brings you to that place, right? When the questioning just stops and wonderment happens or something, right? So in Yoga Vasistha, there is no ritual, no praying, nothing, right? But it just emphasizes company of holy people. It is a skillful way of telling company of the enlightened master or the guru, right? So Gurudev will be in LA. See, I'm not saying much. You figure out you guys are intelligent, right? So see this thing, right? And I tell you, like, I was so worried. Last night I slept 2:30. I woke up 5:30. Okay. Because I thought Guruji might go for a walk. I was in Sacramento. So I didn't want to miss that opportunity. So 6 o'clock, I was sitting in front of his door, in hotel door. I did my Kriya and Sadhana sitting in front of that door. He never went for the walk, so no need for FOMO. Okay. Now, what happened was, and I was driving back and I was just wondering, like, today I haven't done my meditation before the session. I even haven't read the content, right? I had no idea, like, how this session will turn out. But I believe this was one of the very, very exciting session, right? Out of 5 or 6 session, isn't it, right? And I can tell you, it is just grace of Gurudev, right? Because I feel responsible that while you guys spend 90 minutes, 100 minutes on this session, there has to be some value add. And today was the day was completely unprepared, completely like I did not even open this one, right? I think Gurudev takes over, right? So one thing is grace of the master is the key. Otherwise, this you cannot solve the problem using the root of the problem, which is our own mind, right? The grace is the key. So,
Prabhaji, I really, really wanted to thank you. On the other hand, I was thinking maybe I'm pushing you to come to session on time, but it's all worth. Even if you broke a red light or something, it's all worth it. Today's session was amazing,
Thank
and
you, Prabhaji. I need to
yeah.
drop off.
And Sweta, thank
Thank
you
you.
for asking a lot of questions. And Naveen, whoever asked questions, really, really thanks.
no, Shweta does not ask question. Shweta tells her realization. It comes out as if this question. It took me 5 weeks to understand that. Yeah.
Okay,
Eh,
bye. I have to go for
Sure.
another session.
Prabhaji, I also have to drop for a work
Yes.
call. So thank you so much for this wonderful session, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Jai Gurudev.
Jai
Yeah.
Gurudev.